So another day of E3, and what an interesting day it was, with loads of announcements from both Microsoft and Bethesda. We're going to be talking about all of them in this video today, so let's get straight into the games. So, Microsoft and Bethesda both had their press conferences, well, a couple of days now, because we've had to move the show back a couple of days because technical difficulties, but we're here and we're not going to let that stop us from bringing some good shows and good announcements to the channel. So, first of all, I think we should probably mention the Xbox, well, not the Xbox Scorpio, the Project Scorpio announced by Microsoft, because I don't know if you saw the Microsoft conference, but they spared no expense. We'll go deep into the Microsoft conference, but last time I said that Microsoft are gonna have to impress me to make me want to buy this console. And I went into the Microsoft conference thinking, okay, Microsoft, give me all you got, and
do you know what they gave you?
Jesus, what did they give me?
Xbox One X.
Xbox One X. Now
that's a mouthful in itself. Like, let alone go through all the exclusives you're gonna have for us. Xbox One X.
Now, just before we go on to the Xbox One X, which is the confirmed name, Xbox or Microsoft really surprised me. They legit really did. Like when they yesterday when I was saying, they're gonna have to need some really good games to make me want to buy into this, really expensive new console. And then they started the conference and they said we've got 44 new game announcements tonight. What? 22 of them are exclusive to the Xbox.
I thought 40 of them were like what were they like? Games for backwards compatibility or something like that.
That
like
is
Xbox
a new feature.
Arcade,
that is a new feature, but there were 40 new announcements in that press conference. Not all of them were focused on as much, but there were about 40. I can't remember the exact number, but it was within the 40s, and 22 of them were Xbox exclusives, which it kind of made me eat my words when I said, Sony have got all these exclusives and what have Microsoft got? And then Microsoft punched me in the face when I watched that conference.
But then we're going to get to the Sony conference. They're just going to 40. We have 762.
Come on, catch up, boys.
It's
So Microsoft really surprised me, and we'll be talking more in depth about some of the big game releases that they had. But as you mentioned, the Xbox One X. Now, when we were talking about, it was officially called Project Scorpio. Yep. And I really thought the console was going to be called Xbox Scorpio.
That's what a cool name.
What a cool name, right?
Especially considering it has water cooling in it.
I know.
Well, let's talk about the hardware for a second.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
Right, it's basically a PC, but what they've done is made you really fear the Red Ring of Death, because then that means the water cooling system is fucked.
And that's expensive fix.
You're not going to be fixing it. You're going to be buying a new one, which,
another 350
the hard drive
quid-ish.
might not even be salvageable. So that's all of your data gone. That's.
I can't remember the exact stats of it, but it is basically,
it's
basically a PC. Yeah.
They've built a PC.
Crazy.
They've stuck Xbox One X on it instead of Xbox Scorpio, which.
But did you see in any way the name not being Xbox Scorpio? Did you kind of twig that it was just a name given to the project and they were actually going to be calling it Xbox One X? Because I didn't see it coming.
I like the name Scorpio.
I do. That would be very cool.
It would have been amazing if it was called the Scorpio. Like I've never bought myself an Xbox. Like I've stuck with PlayStation. Like I've had a PlayStation. I've bought myself a PlayStation 2, 3, and 4. But then I had an original Xbox and my brother had an Xbox 360 Elite. Yeah. And then my other brother recently got an Xbox One. So I've never been much of an Xbox fan, but just based on the name Xbox Scorpio alone, that sort of tweaked me. Actually, that's pretty cool. But now,
how cool would it be if you had a scorpion on the front?
Yeah,
sorts,
just
you
just
awesome.
See it now, like Scorpio written in fancy text, maybe in gold. Oh, that'd be lovely.
But Xbox One X. I was watching the IGN pre-show before the Microsoft, and someone did say, I reckon Xbox Scorpio isn't the actual name, and I was like, nah, come on. Of course it is.
You've always got to expect this thing, though. You've always got to have them like go, oh, we've got an unannounced project. We're gonna call it Project, I don't know, X, Y, and Z, and then it doesn't come out to be a game called X, Y, and Z, and you're like, oh, okay, then what is this?
Yeah.
Like previously, they've had like, oh, I can't really compare it to games, so I know the hardware is different from the games, but like there have been games that have been produced and their project name have been way more appropriate and cooler than the actual name for the finished game. Like there's a couple of examples that I can sort of think of, but like nothing major. Like they've had minor tweaks, but I just,
although let's face it, I mean, a lot of people when the Xbox 360 came out, well, that's a shit name, and then everyone just got over it as soon as it came out. You know, the name of the console doesn't particularly matter; it's whether it's going to perform. And let's face it,
shit's going to perform.
It will perform. Yeah. So it comes out.
They have to run some fucking hefty games. Like.
Yeah, I think that console's going to be able to run anything, you know, and I think it's going to stay one of the strongest consoles for a long, long time.
Yeah.
It's been about 3-4 years in development, that one console.
Yeah, unless Sony do decide, hey, we've built
they definitely will.
a $2,000 computer, but then downscaled it to a PlayStation
let's face it,
size.
Sony's got PS4 Pro. But now the Xbox Scorpio's come out and it is more powerful.
I feel like PS4 Pro is just bridging. I feel like they did that just to say, oh, we're totally not going to produce a console.
So it's next
here's
year
the
E3 is a new
PlayStation
console.
10,009.
It's powerful. Here's the
powerful.
PlayStation better than Xbox. That's what we've called it.
I really hope we do get a PlayStation 5 at least.
I don't think PlayStation 5 will come out for a little while, but anyway, we're straying
Yeah.
away from the
Sorry,
topic.
Microsoft, they're interesting.
So Xbox One X comes out November 7th. Will you be buying one?
No.
I would.
To
based
be
on the
honest,
conference, I'd actually love to buy one, but
based on the
I don't have
conference,
the money.
yeah, but I'm saving up for a better PC. And I play PC a lot more than console.
You're a PC gamer.
I am a
yeah,
PC gamer. Like,
you're not one of those console sweaty cunts, are you?
Yeah.
So a little bit more information about the Xbox One X. I almost keep calling it Xbox Scorpio. It is the smallest Xbox ever. So no, it's not only the most powerful. It is the smallest, which is quite impressive. And it also costs in US dollars $499.
Yeah,
which at about, in British money, let's estimate it for about £350. Maybe a little bit more.
It'll be $399.
Yeah. Probably
Which
they'll
is-
round it up to $399.
Oh, which is more than a general console is out on release.
It
Like
is.
generally it's $250,
Yeah.
$249.
Yeah,
so
it is a lot more. Like the PS4 at the moment is going for about, PS4 Pro even is going for about 300-ish.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
quite
in your local
powerful,
retail stores.
so-
So it is a lot more expensive than any other console that's on the market at the moment. And you know, my next question is now, well, it's more expensive. Yeah, clearly it's more powerful, but I can still play, like, you know, The Witcher on my PS4. It still looks beautiful. Why do I need an Xbox One X?
Yeah.
And they answered that. They definitely answered that.
Yeah,
you know,
they were like, well,
in the
here's
conference.
some stuff for it.
Yeah, so basically, you know, the structure of it was, here's our new console, here's how awesome it is, and now we're just going to smack you with games constantly.
By the way,
you know,
here's a game, and
Yeah.
here's a game.
and let's move on to the games, actually, because these are just some of the main the big titles that people have been excited for.
Yep.
The big titles that Microsoft really did emphasise on. As I say, over 40 games were announced, and I will go through, I'll list a few at the end of this section of the show, but
You can
just
search
to
them
name a
up
few.
yourself. Search them up
Yeah, go for it. But as
Come
I say,
on, we're not an
22
all-inclusive podcast.
Come on, you got to do some of your own work. But 22 of them were exclusives. We're going to be looking at State of Decay 2, which is an exclusive. We'll talk about that in just a second. Forza 7 Motorsport, which I do believe is it exclusive? I might have written it down.
Forza game.
I didn't write down that it is an exclusive, but I'm going to assume, because Forza normally is exclusive to Xbox,
It's
is it not?
exclusive. If
We'll
it's
save
not, we're liars.
Yeah, we're lying to you.
JTP is a lying YouTube channel.
Yeah, for sure. Sea of Thieves is also a big topic that we want to talk about because, it's going to be awesome. What else have we got? Middle-earth Shadow of War. That would be an interesting topic because, the first one, well, we don't like to talk about the first one personally.
But we're gonna have
But
to.
we're going to have to. And then we'll be talking about, if I just move this down, Crackdown 3, just very briefly, because that's a massively hyped game that people really hope for this year. And to finish it off, a bit of Anthem, because we talked a lot about Anthem last show,
Anthem's
last
hyping
episode, yeah. And We were like, next E3, I'd love to see more in Anthem. Next day, here's some Anthem. We were like, damn it, yes.
You
that's gonna be
fucked the
awesome.
mic.
Whoops. That's right, the mic's used to being peaked. Have you seen my channel? So, State of Decay 2. I played the first State of Decay, you didn't.
I did
you?
not.
First State of Decay, it wasn't a AAA game, you know. I enjoyed it a
indie,
lot. It was an indie game, yeah, made by Undead Labs. And it was an Xbox exclusive. It was very good, I thought. It was, one of the first zombie games I really got into a lot. As one of my favourite open world zombie survival games. It was a bit janky at times. It wasn't a fully fledged, AAA game that you'd pay 60 quid for. But Microsoft have said they want to treat State of Decay 2 like a AAA title, a full-on AAA title. So I'm hoping that'll mean less bugs, and more fleshed out gameplay.
You'd hope it'd be less bugs, because, I want a AAA game to be released and it being not buggy.
Yeah, that's generally Ubisoft. That's generally how we like games.
Ubisoft, Bethesda, Microsoft.
Anyway, so from the trailer and the gameplay they showed us, it looks like there are a lot more gameplay features and mechanics, a lot more variety, as in what you can find in the world, what you can do in the world. It is a 4-player co-op experience. Of course, you can play, there is like a story, single-player campaign, I do believe, as well. But it is mainly a 4-player co-op experience to do with your friends. And they have said that you choose how you build, who you let in, how you survive. Basically, it's... From the vibe I got was they were trying to sell it as maybe like a choice-driven, almost like Telltale game, but within an open-world survival experience. So it's it makes it more realistic and more hard-hitting as a survival game.
From what you're saying right now is it's choice-based. So do your choices affect the storyline at all?
I don't believe so.
Right.
I don't think there's a hard-hitting, or they haven't said there's an actual proper storyline yet.
Okay.
But I'm assuming that when you choose where you build, you choose who to let in. I'm assuming that's going to have an effect on your gameplay somehow, and maybe you choose to let someone in, and maybe they then go to either double cross you later on, or they maybe run off with some of your gear in the middle of the night, maybe.
Or they might have been one of those pricks that have been bitten, but they're like, oh, I haven't been bitten.
That would be really interesting. You wake up one evening and you're like, oh shit, guys, there's a zombie in our compound. How did that happen? That'd be really interesting game mechanic.
He's still asleep just as long.
Yeah. And there are life and death decisions. So by choice making, there is a very, very good example of that. In the trailer and the gameplay they showed us, someone had got bitten. And there was this shot that saves your life or something. So apparently this epidemic, this zombie virus, isn't uncurable. But it was one of the last shots they had, and you had the choice to either shoot them in the head or give them your last shot. So it does give you those two hard-hitting your life or death decisions, like a Telltale game does, which is why I thought they're trying to bring Telltale and survival kind of into one to make one awesome zombie survival game.
It's quite an interesting concept. Using that survival as part of a drive for you to keep going through the game and being conscious of your resources, I suppose.
Yeah, and especially as you're going to be playing with 3 other friends.
Yeah.
You're going to have that debate with your friends as if you were actually in a group, and maybe your friend is the one who's in that life and death decision, and you need to decide whether you off your friends.
That'd be a really interesting thing.
Yeah. I'm not sure how the permadeath and all that works, because in State of Decay 1, if that character died, you just didn't play with them, and a new character came in. I don't know if you die as your character, you'll just respawn as that character, or to keep kind of a realism, you'll come in as a new character and you have to rebuild the stats of that character. I'm not sure how it's going to work. I'm assuming we'll find out closer to the date, which, by the way, is coming spring 2018. They haven't given us an exact date yet.
Okay.
But spring 2018, as it is an Xbox exclusive, so you have to get an Xbox One X to play that. I'm sorry, Matt. You might have to come over to the dark side.
Is it coming out on the Xbox One?
Yeah, it'll come out for all Xboxes.
Brother brothers. That's fine.
And I do believe, State of Decay 1 was on PC, so I'm going to assume that eventually, even if it's not on launch, it'll be out on PC eventually.
That's good.
Yeah. So, State of Decay 2, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, I can't wait to get on with my friends, and I've never actually played, except for DayZ and things like that, I've never actually played a zombie survival game with a story for an extended amount of time.
I've never played a zombie survival game with my friends.
We are going to have some fun on State of Decay 2, mate.
I think I played DayZ for 5 minutes round yours. by myself.
5 minutes of DayZ is not going to give you enough gameplay, but yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to have a lot of fun on that game, I reckon. I think a lot of people are, as I say, as it's being treated as a AAA title, I think it's going to be a lot bigger and a lot more fleshed out than the first game.
Nice.
Which is the only really complaint I had about the first game. It was a bit lacking and it was a bit buggy.
Yeah, I suppose it was an indie game. They were first trying it out, I suppose. Like, maybe people weren't sort of like used to the coding that they had to do and all sorts of that. So it's interesting that they're giving it another shot.
Yeah.
Giving it another chance.
I'm glad they're giving it another chance, actually. Yeah. But moving on.
Yes.
So, yesterday, or the last show we did, we said that, Need for Speed is the only real AAA racing game that's coming out, and we said that, it'll be interesting to see what other companies bring us throughout E3, and, now we've had, as Ubisoft was yesterday, we've had The Crew 2, which we'll talk about in another show when we talk about Ubisoft, but for Microsoft, they've got Forza 7 Motorsport.
Yeah.
So, we've now got some competition on the AAA racing title games for this year. It is coming out. Is it coming out this year? I shall check my notes. Yes.
Comes out with the Xbox, doesn't it?
I do believe it does. It might do. I haven't got an exact date written down for when it's coming out. I must have missed that. But I would assume it's coming out.
It's one of those games
year.
that generally come out with an Xbox, so they can kind of like sell it as a bundle.
Exactly. And racing games always come out with Xbox. Yeah, the new consoles.
It's sport games, really. Like you'll get FIFA coming out with it. You'll get like Forza, and you might get a Call of Duty come out with it, and then
exactly.
You either buy one of those bundles or you just don't buy it.
So just quickly about the game, they've ramped up the graphics as, with the new console you'd expect them to. I feel like the whole Microsoft conference was just, it's
graphics.
Yeah, it was all very much 4K graphics, it's looking beautiful. It's like, it looks beautiful, but like, is the game good? Minecraft doesn't look beautiful, but it's got good gameplay, and that's why I played it so much when I was younger, know? Graphics for me don't particularly mean much. If the game's shit, I'm not going to be like, but the graphics are good, so let it off.
One thing that did annoy me, especially in Forza, the old games, they would maybe spend more time on how the cars sounded and how the cars looked and how they performed around like turns and stuff. Yeah. And then the crowd would look like a 2D sprite that followed you like that. So I'm kind of glad they're ramping up the graphics.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And
you'll actually feel like you're racing. You might actually feel like you're part of like a Grand Prix or something like that.
And with the graphics like ramped up, you're also going to have more like big, epic, large scale world and environments to race around. So with the graphics, and like you say, you'll feel like you're actually in the race. With the living, breathing environments of like the NPCs being a little bit more technically advanced, so it actually looks like they're a proper crowd and not a 2D scale.
Yeah, that's been a big thing with the entire sort of E3, really. Because like AI has been kind of like ramped up. So, like in Forza, they're now ramping up the AI. In like, for example, Need for Speed, which we talked about the other day, they're ramping up the AI. So that seems to be a theme that's coming on.
Yeah, they're making games a little bit more difficult. Yeah. Which is what I like to see.
But at the same time, it's my point that I said the other day, our casual game is going to struggle. Is there a slider bar for it?
To be honest, games used to be very difficult. We're going off topic again quickly, but games used to be very difficult, It's only like the last decade or so games have got very, very easy for the casual gamers. And I don't think that we're going to get as hard as, like, obviously Dark Souls and shit like that.
Yeah, Dark Souls will say its own thing.
That's the complete opposite end of the spectrum. But I do think that, like, giving gamers a challenge, like, playing some CODs, it's just like, mowing everyone down. It's
same
not a
thing
challenge.
over and over and over.
Exactly.
And over.
And I
Unless
think
you play on veteran difficulty, but then that's a slider, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's I think making games by default a little bit more challenging, just makes them more fun to play in general.
Yeah.
Not too challenging, not too easy. But anyway, we've gone off topic again.
Yeah.
So apparently over 700 new cars, or not new cars, but 700 cars in general. So I'm assuming that'll be cars for our old Forzas, new cars as well. And talking about new cars, well, in fact, just before we go on to the big reveal that they did for Forza 7, which I'm sure everyone's aware about, it's also the most technically advanced driving game ever, they've claimed. Not sure exactly what that means.
No, I've played Euro Truck Simulator 2.
Now,
how advanced is this? Can I indicate in Forza 7 Motorsport?
Do you have much, do you need to indicate in a race? I mean, I think you do.
I mean, if you're going for a pit and somebody else is going for the finish line, but you need to do a crossover, I'd want to indicate for that shit. Like,
Not fair
I'm a
enough.
careful driver.
You're a safe driver, sir.
Can I put my windscreen wipers on if I'm doing a first-person race, or
That'd be fucking
does
awesome
it
if
do
you
that
can.
automatically? I want to
No.
do a challenging race where I can't see where the fuck I'm going.
That'd be so annoying. But yeah, I don't exactly know what that means, but that's what they said. So we'll be interested to see exactly what they do with that game. By technically advanced, they may just mean like the graphics are really good and the environments look even better.
They'll probably
there
do
might be
something
more.
like, oh, the handling is so much better because it actually indicates with every single touch of the analog stick. And It's
Yeah.
like, or I could turn a corner.
So just before we finish talking about Forza 7, they revealed a new car. Now, as you may have just seen the video cut, I've forgotten the name of the car and I've written it down wrong. So
It's a fast broom broom.
It's a fast broom broom.
That's a 2018 model.
yeah, it's a new 2018 model, and
Called a Pursuer.
they made it a massive thing
something.
because it's normally, new cars are normally unveiled in like France and things like that at the big Grand Prix and the big car shows, not gaming shows. It's a bit of a weird place to unveil a new car.
I suppose they've kind of got ties in the car industry.
Oh,
though,
for
don't
sure.
they?
Yeah, Forza.
Microsoft.
Yeah, Forza is one of the biggest AAA games, if not
Yeah.
the biggest. They have ties like that. I
Kind
think
of
that was.
appropriate, really.
I think that's kind of what we were talking about the other day, where it's like Need for Speed is currently undisputed, but if there's a new Forza coming in and a new Crew 2 coming in, how is it going to fare? I think this was Microsoft saying, we are the top dogs, because not only can we bring you another Forza game, but linked to this Forza game is a brand new car in the real world. That's kind of them, like,
Do you reckon they unveiled
massive
that
middle
car
finger.
because with every collector's edition, you're gonna get a 2018.
I'm going to
new
buy that collector's
car
edition.
model.
I will buy pre-order bonuses, boys.
Yeah.
That would be beautiful. So that was, as I say, and Microsoft spared no expense.
Yeah.
And that was one of the first things they spoke about, was the new car.
Yeah,
as
they
well as
unveiled
Forza.
that, and they're like, oh, by the way, there's a car game coming out as well.
Yeah, so, they spared no expense, and I think that might have been, to be honest, like, they
The
didn't
most
really...
expensive E3 conference.
Yeah, but they also didn't really explain, like, I didn't look at Forza and go, yes, I can't wait for that. Like, I looked Forza Horizon 2, I was like, I
because
can't
it-
wait for that.
Because I feel
Forza
like
7, I'm like,
I feel like it hasn't changed much from other Forza games, and that's why you don't get that wow factor.
Yeah, and I feel
'Cause
like
it's
the
the
car-
same game, copy and pasted, graphics amped up from what we can tell.
Yeah, and I feel like the car was there to be like, whoa!
Look, a car,
Whoa!
game car.
Yeah. But hey, they seem proud about it.
They seem happy. Their dicks are hard. I'm
Yeah. I mean, I'm not very excited about the new Forza game. I want to see another Forza Horizon. I love the Forza Horizon games. I
wanna see
love
another
them.
Burnout.
Open world. It's crazy.
I'm a Burnout fan.
We
mate.
might see one at Gamescom later on in the year. You
Maybe.
never know.
Ooh.
You never
I
know.
love a new Burnout.
But anyway, moving swiftly on, because we have got Bethesda to cover later
shit.
on as well. Although Bethesda didn't really have much, don't worry.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll take 10 minutes. It's alright.
Yeah, it's all good. Sea of Thieves.
Yes.
Which I hadn't actually, I was watching the IGN pre-show and they were all talking about Sea of Thieves as something as, they've been excited about
Yeah,
forever.
and I'm like,
What is this?
what the fuck?
Yeah. Am I just out of touch?
Is this
I
what
hadn't
the
heard of it.
youths talk about?
Yeah. I hadn't heard of this before E3.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I was bestowed upon by this game because
I'm glad
this
that
looks awesome.
I'm glad that the character that you play has balls enough to eat a banana with the skin on.
And
That is
fire
a
himself,
man I can.
yeah.
That is a man I can get behind.
and fire
Yes.
himself out of a cannon.
Dude, that guy was awesome. He's
I mean-
helmet on and he's in a circus.
All
like,
logic out the window.
Let's
but
be
fuck
honest.
It. But anyway, it is an Xbox exclusive. But it
Aw.
was announced at the PC gaming show as well. So it's going to be on PC as well.
it's gonna be on PC as well.
Oh,
just
so,
like
yeah, it
it's a
is,
couple of months later because they're like,
yeah.
our sales are down. Put it on
So
PC.
It is confirmed
Yay.
to be on PC. And wait a minute, I might have actually written something
Oh.
about that.
Today's broadcast brought to you by.
I do believe it's not written down on this one because it was the PC gaming one. But if I remember off the top of my head, what developers are doing is they're developing it in parallel on the Xbox and in PC, so they come out on the exact same day. So it's not going to be a case of it's out on console, a couple months later it comes out on PC. You know.
This will not happen. They tried that with Grand Theft Auto Next Gen. That did not happen.
Yeah, but that's Rockstar, you know. I mean, these guys, the game might end up being delayed a little bit because they're doing it in parallel, but I think doing it in parallel is going to be the best way to go about it.
Well, really, if you actually look at what they've got to do to put it on PC, they changed the little coding bar or like.
I'm sure it's much more difficult than that.
Yeah, it probably is, but like I've had it explained to me before. People who have done programming for games, they've been like, well, all you really need to do is change the format that you need to write it in, add a bit more code, and then it's done.
Yeah.
But I suppose they've got to do that for the entire game.
Yeah,
but
it's a big
I'm
game.
not a game expert. That's just something that someone told me. Don't hate.
Something that really made me want to buy this game was the humour behind the whole game in general.
The narrator
it helped that the narrator was fucking hilarious. It was great.
I love games like that, like Stanley Parable and well, I suppose GLaDOS from Portal 2 and Portal.
Yeah.
Just like those sort of narrators where they can joke around with you, they can take the piss.
And I do like the
Sometimes
way
can break
they,
the fourth wall. It's
and I do like the way they presented it at E3 this year because I went and watched the coverage on it that was shown. I don't know if it was last year at E3, but it was at a conference earlier last year, and it was literally just 4 players shouting at each other, screaming like, let's play games!
Well, that's what Black Quake is, but I still play that.
Yeah, but at a conference, you want to be shown the content. Yeah. You want professionalism. You want to be shown the game, and then you want to shout at the game, and scream at it and have a lot of fun. So I do like the way they presented it this time.
Yep.
And as they said, as the narrator said, you can have adventures everywhere, like below, above sea, and they went down into the, obviously it's a very cliche thing, pirate thing to do, you go down looking for buried treasure in a sunken wreck. And I do like the fact that, like, you and your friends can go and, like, explore underwater places like that, and you have got, like, sharks, for instance.
I suppose they have really captured the pirate essence, though, because it's batshit crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And that's sort of, like, why
that's what pirates are.
Yeah. Like, they're insane. They're looking for treasure. Like, that's sort of a ideal that everyone sees in pirates.
Yeah.
And then, like, stuff that didn't do that justice, like... I'm going off topic again, but like Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, they kind of went, yes, there's pirates, but they're very civilized pirates, and they have their own island, and they do this, and they do that, and it's very organised.
If I want a pirate game, I want a fucking
pirates.
plunder and booty.
They're all batshit crazy. They see another pirates, they go, hey, can I have your treasure? No, alright then, let's take your ship. But, like,
I
don't know.
And they said that all players' experiences will be different. I don't know how that's going to work out, obviously if you're rolling in a group. I'm assuming that, that means that you'll be playing different roles and things like that.
Yeah, maybe they do... Ooh, do you reckon they'll do randomly generated worlds?
They might do.
Ooh, that'd be awesome.
I say, it's a big open world, so of course everyone player's experience
is it a
is going to be
continuous
different.
world, or is it a set world size?
No idea, they haven't said anything about that.
I want it to be continuous. I want it to be...
That would be really cool, wouldn't it?
Procedural generated, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. As well as that, you can explore islands and things like that, and in the gameplay demo they had you've got the what's it called, the instructions, the treasure map,
right,
and you've then got to did you see the gameplay of it?
I saw a little bit.
Yeah, well basically
I didn't see much.
It was a riddle that you have to work out,
right?
And I can't remember exactly how the riddle went, but it was a nice rhyming riddle that you had to work out, and once you got to one place, it was something about you had got to go into, basically the riddle was you had to go into a cave, hold your lantern in front of a rune, and then it lit up, and the next part of the riddle went onto your piece of paper for you to follow. So it's it's going to be one of those things where you're probably going to find maybe scraps around the world that has one thing on it, and then as you go across it, you'll get new parts to it until you find the treasure.
That can also get tedious.
Yeah,
there might be one that you're going to find, and you want 100%, well, I don't know if you can 100% complete the game. I suppose there's a limit, but you're just looking at it, and you're like, well, that's this place. Why is it not this place?
Yeah.
I'm so confused. I don't know.
So, as well as all this, there is PvP element in the game, and there are enemies to fight as AI, of course.
Yep.
As well as that, there is brutal weather effects, and as we saw in the gameplay, they're absolutely brutal. The weather effects are really going to change up gameplay and actually be a threat, which on the open sea is, of course, very, very important. I think if you miss that out of a pirate game, in every pirate movie, there's always a scene where there's a massive storm raging. They're batter down the hatches,
fire the cannons. Why? I don't fucking know.
Yeah. And I thought the PvP element was quite interesting as well, because if it was just PvE, I thought it would get very boring very quickly. But
I really hope with the PvP element, to board other people's ships, you put yourself in a cannon and fire yourself on them.
That
want that
was
to be
in
a
the
thing.
that was in it.
Yeah.
What they did was he fired himself out of a cannon,
Yeah, I saw
boarded
that.
their ship, and killed them all, and then
I
jumped
hope
back
they
on. Well,
implement that.
he tried to jump back onto a ship, didn't he? And then got ate by a
Yeah.
shark.
It's like,
Which,
load the cannons!
unlucky.
Dave, get the fuck out of the cannon!
Yeah. So that is all very awesome, and from what we've seen, I'm loving it. But because it's a big open world game, how much can they add into this game apart from treasure hunting to keep it fresh, to keep it interesting?
Yeah,
You know?
there's not going to be replayability to it.
Exactly.
That's the one downfall I'm going to have with this game, unless they introduce, like, I don't know, sort of like bounties, I suppose, is what I'm kind of thinking. Like,
Yeah,
if
bounties
there
would be
is
cool.
sort of like a hub island that you're given at the start, where you can go back, maybe get bounties, but
There
then,
are
but then it might
ports
just
and things like that you can sell.
yeah,
stuff at,
but
things
then
like
it might
that.
just be really tedious. Like, oh, today I'll go on my daily hunt.
Yeah.
I'll go destroy a galleon. I'll go take over a man of war.
Yeah.
Like, something like that. But
Yeah, I'm really hoping they add things like, you can customize the ship maybe over time, get new ships.
ship customizations
things like
would
that.
be interesting, but
Yeah.
I feel like they'd also do that through the treasure map system. It's like with I'm going to reference it to other pirate games that I know. Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Yeah.
Ship customizations, you could only get some of them if you found
Yeah.
the blueprints or whatever in treasure chests, which you had to find by getting treasure maps and then following them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I am a little bit worried. I'm really I want to be excited for it, but at the same time I'm skeptical. Because
I'm excitedly skeptical.
yeah, I want to see this game do really well. I really do. But at the same time, is there going to be enough to keep people interested to play hundreds of hours of this game?
Yeah, because I suppose there's already competition, and
Well, there's a lot of competition on the pirate front
yeah,
this year.
and yeah,
Especially,
so
this
more's
year.
going to come.
Yeah, more is coming. Like, there's a lot. Surprisingly, I didn't expect anything pirate this year.
I
But
suppose
there's been quite a lot.
I suppose people have sort of asked for pirate stuff since previous pirate games have been made, but like they're not proper pirate games. They're kind of like, oh, pirates exist too, but this
Yeah.
is the main thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like the community have asked for that, and Microsoft have delivered, and other
Yeah.
game companies have as well.
So just before we swiftly move on, how do you think Sea of Thieves is going to, like, how do you think it's going to compare to games like Black Wake, who've already got, they're quite funny games.
You see-
they've already got, like, the pirate element to it. Of course, it's an open world and not a, like a big
Yeah.
fighter.
I don't think you
But-
can compare it to Black Wake, because Black Wake's a very specific thing. It's like, yes, you're going to do PvP combat.
Yeah.
There's no PvE. You're going to do PvP combat. I think
Yeah.
it's still in early access or something like that. I think
Yeah, Black Wake is.
it's not a fully fledged game yet, so
Yeah.
they can still add content to do PvE, but I think it's focused heavily on PvP. Whereas Sea of Thieves is going to be more PvE, and then there's the PvP.
So as a
element.
standalone game, you reckon it'll do?
As a standalone
as a-
game,
yeah,
it'll
do
do
very
well because it currently doesn't have that sort of competition. Like, especially with the art style, it's quite.
It is quite
I
different.
don't want to say cutesy, but that's what it is. It's a
Yeah.
lot brighter. It's a lot.
It's friendlier.
Yeah, it's
For a
friendlier.
pirate
So
game.
you're gonna have more casual gamers going towards it because they're like, "Oh, look at the pretty pirate game. My
Yeah.
son might like that. Let's go get it."
Exactly. So moving
I said
swiftly.
son just because gender stereotypes. I didn't.
It's
I
2017,
didn't mean
Matt.
women can't enjoy pirates. Women
Fuck's
can
sake,
enjoy
Matt.
pirates through their penises.
So moving swiftly on before Matt gets the show demonetized.
That's already happened. Mate. I swore too many times.
Yeah. Middle Earth: Shadow of War. Now, loads of people loved Middle Earth: Shadow. What was it? Middle Earth:
Shadow of
Mordor. That's it. Loads of people loved it, and I played
fucking
it.
hated it.
Yeah, I played it all the way through, and to be honest, I liked the storyline. I mean, it got a little bit like,
I got no satisfaction from that.
Did you
game.
not at all?
Nope.
Like, the storyline I thought was, as a Lord of the Rings fan, I thought it was quite cool. I mean, it didn't really add anything to Lord of the Rings franchise.
I feel like I would have enjoyed it more if it did make more references to Lord of the Rings, like books or film series.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was bored by halfway through. I feel like if I actually made it to the end, then I would have been more, oh yeah, this is a great game, whatever. But I was bored by the middle. They didn't
Yeah.
do anything to entice me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, take over an army, create your own army, like take down the right hand of Sauron's army and make it your own and do all this, that, and the other.
Yeah, and
I don't want to.
and I played
Kill
it on
these war chiefs. No.
I played it on PS3, and I think that game
played
was
PS4.
very much based for next gen.
I
Because
played it on PS4. It was
Yeah, it
fucking
was-
beautiful. I'll give it that. It was a great looking game. But
the one thing that really ruined the gameplay experience for me on the first game was the fact that on PS3, every single time you went to a load screen, the load screen would be about 15 to 30 seconds long.
yeah, that's one thing that I
it
liked.
was ridiculous.
Well, but you say that for PS3. I feel like it was longer than that because on PS4 I would have some long loading screens as well.
Really?
I would have.
I thought it was a lot smoother on PS4.
It
but I
was.
didn't play
It was a
on
lot
PS4.
smoother, but it could have been smoother.
Yeah.
Like, I've played games where it's loaded for like a second and it's meant to be quite up to date with the console and whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, that's what I want. They've made it, but they know their limits.
And-
Whereas this pushed
Yeah,
its
of
limits.
course.
I don't know.
Shadow of Mordor was it was like the first. It was part of the big first wave of next gen games.
Yeah,
It was
it was
when,
kind of
you
an
know,
experiment.
Yeah, a lot of the games in like the first big wave of next gen weren't that great. Let's face it.
Yeah,
I mean, Killzone came out as soon as the PS4 came out. That's not really spoken about anymore.
Yeah,
You know,
I
like, all
liked
those
it,
games
but
were
you
kind
kind
of
of forget
just
about that.
Meh. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But Shadow of War is looking to be a lot better. Well, from what I saw anyway. So basically, it's got a lot more gameplay features, so hopefully you won't be bored halfway through.
Yeah.
But there'll be a lot more variety of stuff to do within the world. The Nemesis system, where you've got, you know what I'm talking about. They're expanding that as well, making it bigger and better, which would be quite nice. And you'll be able to, this time, forge your own army and attack like areas of the map with it. So from what I understood from the gameplay, basically you go around, you brand your army,
Right.
and then once you've got certain like soldiers and a certain amount of soldiers for your army, you then use that army to attack a part of the map and to take down a big leader, and then you gain control of that part of the map.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah,
That's
you
like
know,
Assassin's Creed Revelations sort of thing.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that part of Assassin's Creed
it
Revelations.
gives you a purpose apart from story wise to actually make a big army, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And
Like I actually
cause
feel
some
like
destruction.
I'm doing something
Yeah.
instead of now my guys are in their positions.
And of course, there are new gameplay mechanics and features. They're massively improving it with a whole.
Are they
load
improving
of,
the combat?
I do believe they're keeping the combat to like this kind of Batman style combat that they had. In the
It
first
wasn't
one.
Batman style though.
It was kind of Batman style.
It was
It was of the same kind of like variant.
for me. Shadow of Mordor. It was too difficult early game.
Yeah.
Because when I played Batman Arkham Asylum, when I played Batman Arkham City, was
Yeah.
it called that?
Yeah, Arkham City.
And Arkham Knight, I played that as well.
Good game.
They were all very. I could get in, I could beat up some thugs. There weren't too many that were swarming me at the same time, so I could
Yeah.
deal with it. Whereas in Shadow of Mordor, I felt like if I took one guy on, 50 other guys from a different encamp would fucking know.
Yeah.
They'll be
there
like,
were-
fucking, there's a guy 10 miles that way.
Bill just
Go.
texted me. He's in trouble.
Go. Yeah, like they
Yeah.
fucking knew.
Yeah.
Like, I could stealth kill someone, and then the war chief from a base is just like, I know you're here somewhere. Like,
Just.
I was invisible. Yeah.
What was that? Someone died.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And gameplay features like that. Like I remember when I was recording it for my channel, I would just stop recording, grind through this fucking battle because it's taking me about 6 tries.
Yeah.
But of course, that is the difficulty of the game. That was late game for me. The early game. Early game, it
fucking
was.
awful.
Yeah, it did have some challenges. But I think that was part of the like kind of the kind of genre of the game. You've got to then like once you can brand your own like what were they called like the big dog things, the big giant creatures. I
Yeah.
forgot what they were called. But you can brand them and then they would help you and things like that. I mean, late game.
That's going to annoy me, so let's move on.
You had a lot
from that.
more. Yeah.
What are they
But
called?
this time, they've
Care Bears.
hugely Care Bears. Yeah, you branded Care Bears.
Yeah.
This time they have made the map of Mordor massively bigger. And something
Good.
else that I want to see, and I think from the gameplay we've seen, it's not just one monotone colour. I understand it's Mordor and it'll be like, you know, a very monotone kind of deathly colour.
the thing is,
But
with
I got
Mordor,
really fucking bored.
like, the thing is with Mordor, like, what you don't understand is the fact that there's the volcano area, then there's the grass area, and there's the snow area.
Yeah.
That is Mordor. There's not all death and destruction in Mordor.
Yeah,
Like,
and I
some
think-
people don't understand that.
Yeah,
It is,
exactly.
It's more than just fire.
Yeah, and
Like-
they're expanding on that in the second one by the looks
Yeah.
of things. There's a lot more variation in environments,
Yeah.
which is nice because there was that one area in the first game. I don't know if you got that far before you got bored, but you did go to a very grassy, much lighter area.
Yeah, wasn't there the north half of the map of the south half?
Yeah, but you didn't stay there long. Story-wise, you stayed there for a little while, then you
Yeah.
were straight back to fighting Sauron in, like, you know, the fiery dips of hell.
It was right hand of Sauron, thank you very much.
Oh, terribly sorry, sir.
You're not good enough to fight Sauron.
I clearly
because-
wasn't very involved in the story. But, so this time there is, you know, I got really bored of what I was looking at in the first game, to be honest. And this time, it does look like they're, you know, going that bit further to give us some more interesting environments to
There better be better
explore.
dodging mechanics, because dodging in Shadow of Mordor was fucking awful. Like, I would dodge and still get hit. I'm like, I dodged.
Yeah.
Fix your fucking game.
And you have to now plan your attacks before you, like, siege. So, did you see the gameplay that they showed, basically?
I did not give a shit.
Well, you basically there's this massive dude who you had to fight. Once you fight him and brand him, he's now your side. And he was actually really funny. Like, that is
Right.
one thing that stood out to me. Some of the orc characters in that game are hilarious.
Yeah,
You know,
are
like,
they
some characters are
insane
really gonna like.
hilarious?
No, not insane. Like he was like a.
Or dumb hilarious?
He was a really fun British chap. He was like, right, yeah, oh, yeah, I'm working for you now, lovely. Right,
Oh,
let's go.
so,
Let's go.
yeah,
He was like,
okay,
you
so
know,
they've gone-
for example, they got to this fort and this orc shouted something in Orcish. Are you bleeding? How good? Like, oh
I'll
god,
live.
Matt, stop bleeding on camera. And the orc turned to the guy you play as. I've forgotten his name now. Shit, it's been so long since I played that game. Yeah.
Strider.
Yeah,
It's
sure. He turned to him and went, well, I don't know what she said, but I'm going to assume that she said it's something to do with you're all going to die miserably. I can't wait. You know, it was something like that. And he was like, I love this character. He's great.
Yeah, that's the sort of comedy that I can get behind in games.
Yeah,
Like,
and I love it how they're giving these certain characters a lot more humour this time, and they're giving them more of a standout character, other than like last time. We had a couple of orcs that were big enemies, but we don't really have much
we
of
had
a
a couple
character.
of eccentric ones. But
Yeah, they're all like, "Grr, I'm a massive scary orc, you know. So this time it does look like they're, you know, story-wise, gameplay-wise, they are ramping up a bit more, and they are bringing it, you know, to where I wish the first game was.
yeah.
You know, with the
First
same-
game again. I'm gonna say first game is a test.
Yeah.
Like, I've said that a lot. Like, first games are tests for second games.
Yeah.
If there's going to be a second game, then the first game is going to be shit.
Yeah, and they will massively improve on that first game. So we're gonna have to move swiftly on anyway because obviously, as I've said, we've still got Bethesda.
Oh
but
shit! Yeah.
let's just quickly talk about Crackdown 3 because I've heard about Crackdown before. I've never really played the game franchise.
I know people that have played it, but I've never played it before.
Yeah, but a lot of people have been hyped for it.
Yeah.
And what I want to talk about is because I was watching the IGN pre-show and they were like, if they mention Crackdown, I'm going to be really fucking excited. I'm like, well, yeah, I can get behind the hype here, you know, it looks like a pretty badass. It's one of those classical, you're a super soldier, you can throw cards, one of those classical chaos games, you know, that all action gamers are going to love, you know, it's kind of, when you think of gaming, that's what most people think, you know, crazy action, you know, explosions, shooting.
But the thing is,
That's what Crackdown is.
because that's what you think of. That's already been made.
Yeah,
Example: Saints Row 4.
yeah.
Crackdown 3 looks like
It does look a lot like Saints Row, doesn't it?
it's right. Imagine Borderlands art style had a baby with Saints Row 4 art style, and it produced
Yeah.
Crackdown 3. That's what the game is.
But-
It's Saints Row 4 trapped in a Borderlands body.
What interested me, though, was the fact that the last time Crackdown 3 was mentioned was about 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
They brought it back this year
Yeah.
to mention it, and it seemed almost like a reminder. It's an Xbox exclusive, by the way, but they didn't bring it out and say, this has been 3 years in the making, here it is finally, here's some exclusive, here's some substantial gameplay that will tell you a lot about the game. It was literally just a montage of action and a little bit of talking at the start, but like it's coming out, or it's due to come out November 7th. So
Right.
is that the same date as the Xbox One X? Is it not? If I check my No, yeah, November 7th. So it's coming out with the release
Oh,
of the Xbox One
so that'll be a bundle game. So that might be heavy intensive.
Yeah.
They might actually make some stuff look really fucking nice for that game.
But what
So,
I'm worried about...
I don't watch the montage. Like, I watch maybe like little bits of it, and that's how I know the sort of the art style. But...
Yeah. But what I'm worried about is for how little they gave and for how soon it's coming out. Like, I don't know what... I currently don't know what the game's about. I don't know if there's a storyline. I don't know anything about the game. I just know there's pretty explosions.
Yeah.
You know, and at E3, I expected, because it's coming out in November, I expected a little bit more. You know, I'm a bit worried about the game, because if they haven't got more to show this soon at the release, I think it might flop.
This is kind of one of those things where they've gone, oh, we're not going to show gameplay because it's so fucking good. We're going to let you experience it. We're not going to let you watch somebody on, like, on this couch do it right now.
Yeah.
They've gone, you experience it. I don't want to play it and get feedback from you about what it looks like, because I can play it and I'm biased towards the game, so I can show you the best bits. But I don't know. It is.
Yeah,
They've either done it because they're lazy and couldn't find anyone to play it,
yeah.
because it's buggy as shit, and they're like, don't tell people, put it out.
It's a bit shit. I'm a bit worried about it. I'm sure, you know, a lot of games have been like this before. You've hardly heard anything about it, and then it comes out and boom, it's amazing.
Yeah,
But,
I've had that with games before, where you hear nothing, then you see an advert on TV, and it's like, here's a thing.
exactly.
Alright then, let's have a go.
Yeah. But I am a little bit worried about it, you know, because I expected more from E3 this year. I expected if they are going to mention Crackdown, it'll be a big thing, and it wasn't. It was just a little bit of a trailer, a
was like,
tiny bit of gameplay, and that's it.
Crackdown.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like, you know, we'll go on to Anthem now. We'll go on to Anthem through this like point, but it wasn't even like Anthem where in the EA conference they were like Anthem, and everyone was like, oh my god, Anthem. It was like Crackdown. Everyone's like, oh, Crackdown, nice. But is there anything more? Is there any more?
That's because
you know.
the reason why that is because Anthem, never seen before, never heard before.
Yeah.
It's just like
and
Anthem.
this is the third Crackdown.
And then Crackdown, it's like Crackdown.
we're
You've
all
already heard of
experimenting
Crackdown 3.
Yeah.
Crackdown 3.
Yeah, and we already know what we're going to experience. Or in the general area, we know we're going to be a super soldier throwing cars, crushing buildings.
It's going to be a Crackdown game.
Yeah.
If you've played Crackdown, you know what it's going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
They might just add a couple more features. Like.
Yeah, and maybe that's why they didn't need to show much footage, because they were like, yeah, if you want to play this game, you know what it's going to be like.
But at the same time, that makes the company come across as so lazy and inconsiderate.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a risk.
I've
not played a Crackdown game. Trailer, I'm not really drawn in by it.
No.
But I'm assuming for Crackdown players who have been waiting for Crackdown 3 for a couple of years now, they're really excited.
I won't pick up an Xbox for Crackdown.
No, I won't. No.
Just no.
But let's go on to Anthem.
Okay.
I'm happy about that. So
sitting up in my chair now.
Oh damn, Anthem! We were like, I'm so excited to see Anthem next year at E3 or maybe Gamescom later on this year. Then the next day they were like, here's some more. I'm putting capitals in my notes here. So hyped.
Yeah.
Because it's a huge open world RPG style adventure action game basically. And yeah, first of all, the graphics for how big and open it is. The graphics look amazing.
Right, I'm sorry. Can we just talk about
Go for it.
You know we talked about Sea of Thieves and you were like, oh yeah, the weather effects are amazing.
Yeah.
That fucking lightning storm.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And they did say the weather effects in that game are completely going to change. Like,
it's going to be random and...
You might go out over the wall thinking, I'm going to do this, and then, that massive ass lightning storm comes in, you're like, well, I can't do this anymore, I'm going to have to change.
It's pretty as shit. Like, that first dude that you meet in that sort of, like, desert town or whatever, that guy... Like the way the light hit his face from the sun, you could see the crinkles in his face.
The power of Xbox One X, my boy.
Shut the fuck. You could see the details in his face, and that is something I absolutely adore from games companies when they're just like, here's that little bit extra.
You know what would be a cool little gameplay mechanic?
What?
When that weather effect does roll in, there's a massive lightning storm. Maybe you can't use your exosuit to fly and things like that because it's too dangerous.
I would love that.
So you'd be grounded.
Or if you did fly, then it's less controls. Like in
it'd be hard to
GTA,
control.
if you have like turbulence on a plane, Like
Yeah.
it's slightly more difficult to fly. I'd
Yeah.
love that. So like maybe on some weather effects, like a tornado or something, you're being sucked in, so you kind of have to make your angle of flight wider so you don't get sucked in and
Yeah,
destroyed.
that would be fucking awesome. Great
But-
attention to details.
We also saw in that 4 people drop it, or 2 extra people drop into the 2 people that
Yes.
you're playing. Did they mention that friends can play like that?
Yes,
Fucking
I do believe so.
yes.
Yeah,
That's
it
the
is-
one thing I want, because I only sort of like dropped in on that bit. Like I dropped in halfway through the Anthem bit, where they're just like Anthem, and then it's the thing that
Yeah.
reveals, and it's the guy's face, and now you're flying. And like I only saw that little tiny section. I didn't really see them talk about it much or anything. So when those 2 extra people dropped down, I was like, I hope I can do the friends
Yeah,
thing.
you will be playing with your friends. Basically, you and your friends are going to be playing as freelancers. They're a group of people. They're basically specialist military units that go over the wall, because in this world, humanity has been pushed back behind this wall.
Yeah.
This wall is protecting humanity from the horrors outside, monsters, the weather,
Yeah.
all the dangers, and you as a freelancer have to go over the wall, explore, and kill dangers and keep humanity safe.
Yeah, but one thing that they mentioned that when they first dropped outside of the wall,
Yes.
The main female character says to the guide, she's like, "Oh, what suit did you pick?"
Yes.
So does that mean that we can make our own suits?
Yeah, very different exosuits. The 2 that were showcased, the woman who was the person
Yep.
who was playing, that was more of a multi-dynamic exosuit, so it's
Okay.
good for all
Jack
things.
of all trades sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. The guy was using a very, very heavy unit.
Yeah, wasn't it called like a Juggernaut or something?
Something like that, yeah.
I feel
And
like I heard.
what's quite interesting is they confirmed it, and it was at the start of the gameplay. She said, "Oh, you got mortars," and he's like, "Yeah, got it over the weekend." So you are going to be able to add to your suit. You're going to be able to customize
Yeah.
your suit with weapons you like to do more damage, and as I say, the mortars that guy had on his exosuit did absolute work to the monsters.
Yeah,
down
I
there.
saw some creatures coming through a valley or something, and then he just went, "Yeah, fuck you." And
Yeah.
also the protagonist did that as well, didn't she? She had some sort of weapon that just decimated the entire
she had
area.
a big. Yeah, I'm assuming that's going to be you're going to have multiple weapons and accessories and features on your exosuit, and then you're going to have certain weapons that are almost like your specials, your ultimates that you can use certain amounts of times. But I am I cannot wait for this.
Yeah. What? Oh, also one thing
Cannot
that
wait.
I did think about this. We saw those giant walking robots,
Yeah.
didn't we? One thing that crossed my mind: are we only going to get upgrades from that shit? Do
That
we
would be
have
pretty
to
interesting.
fight sort of mini boss battles to get
That would be
these,
interesting.
to get the scrap for upgrades?
Yeah.
If you, depending on what currency they used in this dystopic future, will you need to take things down so you can get the scrap, which can then be sold for you've now got a minigun on your shoulder?
Yeah, that would be an interesting gameplay mechanic, because they're going to have to make it something like that, surely.
Yeah, they're going to need to add something extra to it, because at the moment it looks like Iron Man mixed with Horizon Zero Dawn
Yeah.
is the way I've seen it described.
And a bit of Evolve in there as well.
Yeah, a bit of Evolve.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I do think it's going to be absolutely hilarious though to get in with your friends.
Yeah.
And they had the big monster that was attacking them, and they decided to run away.
Yeah.
But knowing us, we're going to be like, nah, we can take it.
So how much health? Couple of million. Let's fucking go,
30
mate.
seconds later, run!
My healer is down. My tank is down. We're fucked. No, we're gonna keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this gameplay experience is like that I live
Yeah.
for.
Yeah,
it's
it
things
kind
like
of brings
that.
it kind of brings people together, just knowing that thing. It may take a couple of tries, but once you've done it with your mates.
Yeah, and-
you have taken down a huge
Yeah.
fucking thing with your mates.
For sure. And with such a massive open world experience there, we only saw a snippet of what you can do
Yeah.
in the game.
I want to know how big the world is.
Yeah, I want to know how big the world is, exactly what you can do, how much you can do. Is there we know there is a quest line to do, because at the start of that gameplay, you had the quest.
Yeah,
that you
I
had to
hope
do,
there's
and it
a
is
quest
confirmed.
with it anyway. Yeah,
Yeah, there is confirmed there will be quests
I
to
wonder
do.
how
things
long
like
that's going to be. Because it will all be dependent on how big the world is.
Yeah.
Because you'll have to... Because what I like about open world games, the main quest of them forces you to go to the different places of the map that you might not normally go if you're just free roaming.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is what I like about open world games. So hopefully, it's a huge ass map that then you're forced into, so you actually explore everything and see everything.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be awesome. And I also want to see what other exosuits there are. We saw 2 in the gameplay.
Yeah.
I want to see what other ones. Maybe there's one that's really stealthy, you can go invisible for a little while.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
I'm
but you
thinking,
don't do as much damage.
because we've kind of got like a bigger one. We've kind of got like a tanky juggernaut sort of thing. We've got a jack of all trades, who I'm assuming is sort of like a technician sort of thing.
Yeah, maybe.
So like maybe they have an ability to like throw down a turret or something whilst you're fighting potentially these big robots that I mentioned. And then maybe you got a slightly slimmer build, so you're better for dodging and doing light attack, I suppose. You're better for getting in, doing damage, getting out, recharging, getting in, and that sort of thing with some dodge and stealthing abilities. And then another maybe medic.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned, sort of like someone that you can go to and they'll repair your suit, or like they've got a scrap gun that they can repair your suit with, or whatever.
Yeah.
I think they could do so much with each of those roles, like especially with the weapons of them, like for medic class, or like I suppose it would be an engineer more than a medic. You'd have to, like, if your gun does deal damage, but if you shoot a friendly, it will like latch scrap onto them and fix their armor. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see.
It's looking very interesting, and I'm going to follow that game. Way up until release. I'm assuming we'll see more about it in the coming months. Maybe at Gamescom later on this year.
Going on what they did yesterday or the other day, it's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, and we've got no confirmed date, not from what I saw.
But
I may have missed it,
it looks fucking incredible for
already.
If it's only like early stages, then what's the late game gonna look like?
Exactly, yeah. So I want to know when this game's coming out.
It's not
exclusive. No, not from what I've seen.
So they're not gonna make it bulky enough so the PlayStation Pro can't handle it, because I don't know. Or will
It'll be
they?
interesting. It'll be really interesting to see. It might come out as an exclusive. You know, it might come out in like later this year.
Yeah, we don't
no idea yet, but it'll be really interesting to see that game. Oh, from what I've seen already, I can't wait.
Yeah,
really can't wait.
Looks amazing.
Those are the main, big titles that we wanted to talk about for this show. I will go through just a couple more titles. We're not going to be talking about them very much because we have got to move on before the show gets too long. But I will go through quickly a couple more releases because they had over 40 releases or announcements, and 22 of them were exclusives, which of course surprised us greatly. But just before I go on to that, just before, as we come to a conclusion for Microsoft, do want to say that you know how Xbox have had their backwards compatible to 360? Of course.
Yeah, it was Xbox and original Xbox One.
Yeah.
And Xbox 360.
Yeah, and now they've added the original Xbox to their library. So they've already got about 300 odd backwards compatible games, and now they're going back to original Xbox. They're bringing back some of the original franchises that people really loved.
I really like that because
really good.
When we had our original Xbox, we didn't have a PlayStation at the time, so I played the shit out of that.
Yeah.
And there's so many old titles that I love seeing return.
Yeah.
I saw some titles in that list of new, old games being added too, and it's exciting.
It is really exciting. Yeah, and I think that's really good for Microsoft to do, to be honest, because they may not have all the really famous exclusives like Sony do, like Uncharted, The Last of Us, things like that, but they do have. Yeah, they have a wider audience. I think they have a really much wider audience in that sense, where they have older gamers as well as newer gamers, and Sony, a lot of their titles are very mature.
Yeah.
So they don't have a very young based audience.
Yeah, I feel like Xbox have definitely got nostalgic things. They sort of were the original console for me. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see some titles come back.
Yeah, and do you think that will encourage you to get an Xbox One? He doesn't want to admit it, but yes.
Well, you see, the thing is, I still have the original Xbox out in my garage.
Yeah.
So unless they sort of up the graphics, I don't think I'll return, but at the same time, I don't want them to up the graphics because then it's not the same game.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, they would have changed stuff.
Yeah. Okay, well, just going through some of the other releases that Xbox announced. So we've got Deep Rock Galactic. What else? We've got, they did a segment on Minecraft. They're upgrading Minecraft.
It's going to 4K, which is going to change it by...
this much.
No, it's not going to change.
Yeah.
Although 1.12 of Minecraft did come out. Did you see that?
I did not.
They've added new colours.
Whoa!
That was 1.12. I was like,
God.
fucking shit, I can make rainbow people. Like, it's fucking amazing.
Amazing. So, the Darwin Project for Last Night, which had a really interesting art style. The Artful Escape. Code Vein, if I go down even more. Yeah, Dragon Ball Fighters, the new Dragon Ball game. Black Desert, Ashen, Takuma, which not a lot was said about that actually. Mainly, like, they at some point they were just going through trailers as fast as possible.
Oh yeah,
like, you know,
I feel like they're running out of time, so it's like, these some games.
Yeah, Super Lucky's Tale, Cuphead, which looked kind of crap.
Cuphead is an amazing name.
Let
let alone what the game is. It's an amazing name.
Life is Strange Before the Storm. We might talk about that just real quick before we end on Microsoft.
New Life is Strange.
Yeah, that does look really interesting. A new Ori game. What else? Fable Fortune on Xbox.
Love Fable games.
Yeah, Hello Neighbor, which is currently on PC.
Goodbye Neighbor.
Then going on to
Goodbye Neighbor.
You're a terrible joker.
We're actually neighbours. Sort of. In a weird way.
Not really.
We live 5 minutes away
yeah,
from
those are
each
just
other.
some of the other games that came out. Obviously, there were absolutely loads of releases. And at one point, they just went through a massive montage of them, and I couldn't keep up typing. So I just gave up. But I will put them over us talking as well, just so you guys can see every release that has been announced. But let's just quickly talk about Life is Strange. I know we haven't got a lot of time left, but Life is Strange.
Yeah.
It's called Life is Strange Before the Storm. It's coming out 17th of August, if I do believe. Let me just check those notes. Yeah, 17th of August, Before the Storm. It's made by a different developer, but they are closely like in tune with the first developers of the first game. Completely different art style, and it's based on before. So you played Life is Strange 1, yeah?
I played a
the
bit.
first series, yeah. This is going to be
I know
consisting of 3 different episodes, each of them about 2 hours long, I do believe. And it's about Chloe and Rachel before, like, when Max went away. So Max isn't in this. This is before the first series, and it's about how from what I've seen, it's about how Chloe and Rachel end up dividing and separating.
Okay.
Because they did show some gameplay.
Yeah.
It was just from that gameplay, it was very emotional. It's gonna be a very emotional game, as the first game was. But it'll be really fucking interesting. I can't wait for that. I really can't. Like, more Life is Strange, and it's not only adding on to the story from the first one, which I thought they would know. What are they going to do in season 2?
Yeah.
Are they going to add on with more powers, things like that? This time there are no powers. It's purely
just
bridging.
story-driven.
Yeah, it's story driven, bridging all of the mystery and the information we missed in the first one as to what happened to Chloe and Rachel beforehand. And they've said that it's going to really be like the Chloe in this one isn't the Chloe we know and love. This is going to be the journey from Chloe with Rachel to Chloe we know in the game. Before she was blue-haired and punk-loving crazy. Yeah, this is going to be a completely different Chloe to what we know.
That is an interesting concept because of what we already know about Chloe. Like, are we going to watch or, like, play the game, and then be like, oh, but don't do that because... Oh, no!
Yeah, I can't wait, to be honest. Like, I've been waiting for season 2 because they did say at the end of the first one, season 2 is on the way. But
it'll come after that.
When's it
next
coming?
E3.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
So that's gonna be really interesting. Not much to say on that right now. We'll have to, update you guys as it comes. But it's happening, and it looks really interesting. So, moving on to Bethesda. Now, Bethesda only had a half an hour, 40-minute conference, and to be honest, I was a little bit disappointed in what I don't think everyone was going to be really, really happy unless they announced a new Skyrim, or not a new Skyrim, a new Elder Scrolls.
And a new Skyrim, it's the same map, just it's the same.
New. But first of all, they started off with VR releases. Doom is now on VR, as well as Fallout, which for the VR community, I can imagine is going to be awesome. I imagine Doom in VR, man.
Doom is going to be amazing.
That's going to be awesome. But VR isn't yet something that's in everyday households.
Yeah.
It's still something that
It's very
the rich man.
It's very specialized. Like, the thing is with VR, you either can or you can't, and most of people can't, because like the thing is with VR, if you want to go into VR, you need to buy the PC for VR, which is really expensive, and then you've also got to buy the VR headset, which is another VR PC put on top of that in price sort of terms, in a way, and then you've also got the games as well. Like, if you want all these games, that's potentially over £2,000.
Yeah, it's very expensive at the moment.
Just for one thing.
Yeah, and I know PlayStation VR are trying to make it so that VR can be in every household across the world.
Yeah.
But at the moment, VR titles, where they are exciting, and it's good to see that VR is making a massive foothold
but the thing is with VR,
in the industry.
you either go hard or you go home,
Yeah.
because I feel like with PlayStation VR, it's not as good as like the HTC Vive and the Oculus Rift. I think the HTC Vive is top of the range at the moment.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And so, I don't know. I don't know.
So, if you're a VR player out there, congrats. I hope you're very excited about Doom and Fallout in VR. I'm not, because I don't own VR, but there we go. So, another thing that Bethesda announced, it was very much a add-on to what they've already got, is the Creation Club. So it's a new collection of features within Skyrim and Fallout 4. So that includes new weapons, armors, outfits, accessories for crafting, house features, things like that. So it's basically because they wanted to build on the already in-game modding system on console for the remastered Skyrim. That's been very successful, and they want to build on that.
They also wanted to build on, like you said, the housing or something like that. So they're trying to build on their DLC, what's it called? The Hearthstone DLC.
Yeah.
So like they're trying to build on that more. Which interesting concept, because what more can you do with that?
Exactly. Skyrim's been out for a long time now.
Yeah, the Hearthstone DLC's been out
a
long time, and Skyrim's been out for longer than that.
And I know Skyrim's got that replayability, and it's one of those games that you can just put thousands of hours into without even realising it, but eventually they are going to have to stop putting new stuff into Skyrim.
Yeah, like, I'm going to be honest here, I've never finished the main quest line for Skyrim.
You're a traitor.
Because I've always got distracted by side quests and the DLC quests, and then the side quests that come with the DLC quests, and I've been so distracted with that I've never finished the main storyline. Like, I've always sat down in a session and gone, oh, do the main storyline.
Yeah.
Oh, look, a side quest. Oh, look, a side quest. Oh, look, a side quest.
That's the problem with all Bethesda games, let's face it. But this Creation Club will be easy to use with credits that you can put into it. So I'm assuming you'll be paying your real money maybe for in-store credits. And then it's a very easy to use home screen menu, a lot like the PlayStation and PS4, not PlayStation. But PlayStation and Sony both have their very easy to use HUDs on their consoles. It's going to take after that, so it's not confusing to new players. So apart from extra things that Bethesda have been bringing to their company, games, they didn't really bring out many. I mean, they brought out some pretty good big titles. Just to name a few, I mean, there's a Skyrim coming to the Switch. We all kind of expected that.
Yeah, we already knew that. It wasn't a big reveal.
Yeah, you can get Zelda customizations, things like that, which, to be honest, you can already get in the modded community on PC.
Mods you can just do anything with, so it wasn't that impressive.
But, Nintendo seemed to be partnering with everyone this year. I mean, they partnered greatly with Ubisoft to make a new game. We'll talk about that in another show. Nintendo seems to be everywhere this year, to be honest.
They're doing bits for everything. They're
like,
well, our conference this year isn't great, so we'll just kind of weave in with everyone else.
We'll weave in with everyone else.
So yeah, they've just kind of done that.
Yeah, so also Dishonored: The Death of the Outsider. There wasn't actually much coverage on that apart from the trailer.
It's not much of it, but I think it shows a lot. It's standalone, which I quite like. So it's not going to follow on from either of the two actual game stories.
Yeah.
And they said it might be the last, didn't they?
I mean, didn't say it, but I mean, from what they said in the trailer, the character was like, "Hey, you wanna do this for one last time?"
Yeah.
To me, that kind of says to me that this might be the last Dishonored game, at least for that storyline, if not for the whole franchise.
Yeah, is it the end of the franchise or is it the end of Corvo?
Yeah,
that's kind of a big thing that's been floating around.
And the fact they didn't give much information on it, it's coming out on the 9th of the 15th, 2017. So that is
so
this
year.
Yeah, late this year. So we got a trailer, not much more on that. I'm assuming we'll get some more gameplay footage and things like that at Gamescom maybe.
We might get something during the Sony press conference, or something to do with that. It might be on PC Gamer Show, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's I'm expecting to see more of that. Dishonored's quite a big franchise,
huge
so
franchise.
they wouldn't just leave out a trailer and then be like, "Oh, game's coming out next month."
Yeah, they won't be like, "Oh, here's a trailer and now the game's out. We're just gonna."
Yeah, I'm expecting to see some more developer comments on what the storyline's like and whether it is the last Dishonored game. I'm calling it now. It's probably going to be the last Dishonored game, at least within that storyline.
Yeah, within that storyline, definitely. I think it's going to be the last Dishonored game, but I think there's going to be another one. I think there's going to be Dishonored. Well, they'll call it Dishonored 3.
Yeah.
Or something like that, where it's like the legacy of Corvo or something like that.
So, game that everyone's been excited about again, and I've never heard of, Quake. I didn't even know that game existed.
I was surprised.
So
I was surprised when they announced a new Quake. Sort of like, it wasn't announced at E3 that Quake was coming out. It was announced a bit before, but they were big on Quake. Like, I was quite excited for that. I did not expect them to bring out a Quake.
Yeah, if you don't know, it's a very, very fast-paced action shooter. It's a kind of arena game that rewards skill and victories earned. That's what the trailer said.
It's a first-person arena shooter. Very fast-paced. From what gameplay I've seen of it, very vertical, the map that I saw. Lots of verticality to it. There's jump pads. There's
the level platforming is crazy.
There's stuff like speed boosts. There's armor boosts. There are accuracy boosts. There's all this stuff
it looks like one of those games. Even if you're doing really bad, it's still a lot of fun to just jump around the world.
The thing is, if you're doing really bad, you can get to. It doesn't matter because you can just sway it by getting a weapon, getting an upgrade for that weapon, and then you're doing good. Like you don't have to be good for it. Like. I love that as a concept. Like, if you're bad, you're not bad. You're very okay.
Yeah. So Bethesda said that adding to Quake, there is a new character called BJ Blazkonswix. Clearly a Russian name.
Nah, he's Jamaican.
yeah.
That's where he's coming from.
Yeah, clearly. He dual wields fucking like pistols. He seems pretty awesome. Obviously, a very good addition to that game. As it's one of its crazy games. I mean, you can basically add anything. They've got so much variety in that game. You know, it's such a crazy game that you could probably add like a Winston character from Overwatch.
You probably could, yeah.
And people be like, yeah, sure, I'm down. You know.
Yeah, it's a gorilla now. Okay.
So also there's a Quake Worldwide Championship. Prize is $1 million. So you can play the beta now if you want. And
you can play the beta.
Go and get pro, win some.
I've been recommended to the beta, but I have not bought it because the person that recommended me to the beta, I don't really like it.
Fair enough. So go play the beta now. Maybe you might be at the championships winning that 1 mil. I mean. Probably not. But hey,
because I've seen some
possibility.
I've seen some professionals play that.
That'd be crazy.
I watched Kefri play it, and him with the sniper. Jesus,
nice.
I'm never playing against him.
But I did like the fact that it's increasing the competition within Bethesda games because within Bethesda games there isn't many really competitive games. It's mainly RPG.
They're not the sort of company that go full to like competition. It's kind of like there is some level of competition, but nothing massive. Like you're just gonna have a game.
Yeah, so it's nice to see them doing a little bit more variety within the Bethesda industry. So, 2 more releases, because Bethesda really didn't release much this year. They were kind of...
they did same old.
Really
they didn't do anything new. They did just same old.
These 2 releases, though, I'm glad they released.
I'm glad.
I am glad. So first of all, Evil Within 2. Evil Within, the first one, I thought was really good, to be honest. I really enjoyed that experience.
It was a good game.
Yeah. So it looks like we're going back into like the STEM again, which is what the trailer said. We're going back into the old sci-fi story that they've got, which is quite confusing, to be honest. Unless you like play the full game and you.
All I want from that game is the horror to be good.
Yeah,
because I've played horror games recently, and they just haven't been good.
Yeah. So the basic storyline of it is you'll be going back into the STEM again to save your daughter.
Yep.
And throughout the trailer, it does look like it's kind of based off on hope and false hope and how hope is destroyed. The trailer did give me a lot of that kind of vibe to it. So it's probably going to be one of those. I swear, if it's one of those games that like brings you through the whole single player campaign, and all throughout it is like you're almost there, and then you cut down. You're almost there, and then you cut down again, and eventually you're just like, can I just end the game?
Yeah.
I swear, if it's one like that.
If it's a game that I just get pissed off of because it's trying to annoy me, then no, I'm just not.
Especially
gonna
with
enjoy
horror. Eventually, horror
Yeah.
games can't be too long, I think, because eventually your heart's going to give way.
No, it's not that. It's
Right.
horror games can't go on too long because then you expect the horror. You'll find a pattern within
it
the horror,
stops
and then
becoming scary.
you're just like, oh, there's gonna be a jump scare.
I think that's what's happened with the FNAF series.
Oh,
There's so many
it's
Five Nights at
just a
Freddy's
bad
games now.
game.
People know what to
It's
expect.
just a bad game.
So, Evil Within 2 is coming Friday the 13th of October 2017, so it's very, very close.
And they also did it on Friday the 13th because horror
Because
genre.
horror! But yeah, I'm excited. Evil Within was one of those classical horror games that they just do horror well.
Yeah.
They've got a good variety of
They
horror.
have a good sense for horror.
Yeah, and it does keep people on the edge of their seats, and it's one of those well-paced horrors with a good storyline as well. And that's what many horrors I think miss. They don't have
They'll either
really good
go
storyline.
story and not scary, or scary but not story.
Yeah.
So you know.
So excited to see more on that, even
Yeah.
if it's just a couple more trailers before it comes out. Definitely be playing that as a Bethesda game. Let's face it, it'll be well made, and there'll be a lot of replayability.
You say as a Bethesda game.
Bethesda's a good
It'll
company
be
for making
made.
games.
It will be made.
Alright, and I didn't play Wolfenstein 1,
I did.
but I am fucking excited to play Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, because that looks badass.
Wolfenstein 1 was the same concept. It was very similar to what they shoot for Wolfenstein 2, but
Yeah.
I'm excited for Wolfenstein 2 because it looks so awesome. That's
Yeah.
what I love about Wolfenstein games. They look amazing. Like, they look like you can just have fun in, even though like it can be a linear shooter, it can be fun in that way. Like the way you take down enemies and stuff like that. It's I don't know.
And it's one of those shooters that you
it.
take quite lightheartedly because it doesn't necessarily make sense. Doesn't really make sense, let's face it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
you're in
does
a
not make
future-
sense.
You're in a future but 60s
There are Nazi
like,
robots.
style.
There are Nazi robots,
and like
but
the whole idea of this game is you play as the American the American people,
Yep.
and you're going to be revolting, causing a revolution against the Nazis. So
which are
it's,
robots.
Yeah, so it's very much. It doesn't really make sense, but at the same
It's-
time, it has to.
It's kind of
It
like
has to be quirky, or people are going to be pissed.
it's kind of like if the Germans in World War II actually got their ideals before they started the war,
yeah.
what would happen? And
Yeah.
this is it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But I do think you have to keep it quite lighthearted like that, and necessarily not make sense.
Don't
because
take it too
the
seriously.
Nazis and revolution, things like that, it's quite a touchy subject
Yeah.
sometimes. And if you have a game where the Nazis are in power, people, cliche, you always beat the Nazis.
Yeah.
That's just a cliche. There is not one
If the
game
Nazis
where
are the bad
Nazis
guys,
win.
the Nazis have lost.
Yeah,
so-
exactly. So this game, it's very much the Nazis did win the war, maybe. And
Yeah, they've had
this is what's
they've
happening.
had a certain level of victory,
Yeah.
but now can
Can they
capitalist
remain
white
that victory, keep the victory.
West, because I'm assuming the main character's white because he was in the last game.
Yeah, he's American dude.
Capitalist white American man, he can take down the Nazis.
Yeah, but plot twist: you play as a guy who has 2 kids on the way. Your wife is
Yeah.
pregnant with twins,
yeah,
which is going to open up for some really interesting story.
Yeah.
I mean,
Don't bomb America if the guy has 2 kids, please. That I can't take that strain from the main
on
character.
one side it could open up to some really good,
It could go
story.
dark.
Yeah, it could open up to some really hard hitting and good story elements. But at the same
Yeah.
time, is it going to be? Oh, my wife's having kids. I'm going to
Yeah,
be
I
the
hope
classic
it's not
badass
that.
action hero.
I hope it's not that.
blow shit up.
In a weird way, I hope she gets bombed. I feel like that's the storyline I want them to go with
So
instead
your
of
wife gets killed almost with your kids. And
or
then,
yeah, like
massive
she's in massive
revenge
danger,
spree.
so you kind of need to take down the Nazis. Like
Guys, we kind of need to sort out this Nazi
but,
deal.
you know, we've got a
now.
problem in Eastern Europe.
But one thing that struck me about the gameplay and the trailer is it's got some real witty humour.
Yeah,
I don't know if the
love
first
witty humour.
Wolfenstein had that,
A bit.
but the trailer really sold me on the
Yeah.
humour side of things.
I
'cause
love that
I already
sort of
love the
humour.
main character.
Yeah, he's great.
He seems like a great guy, you know, and I really want to get dove in and play as that character.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing I do worry about it is the fact that which storyline do they go for? Are they going to stray away and kind of dismiss the fact that you're doing this for your wife and your 2 kids, unborn kids, and they're just going to concentrate on destruction of the Nazis?
I don't want them to forget about that.
Or,
now that they've given
you know,
us that idea,
Yeah.
I don't want them to forget about that, because
Yeah.
then it just become a useless
How is the
story.
storyline going to work? Is it going to be like, you know, is it all going to intertwine really well, or are they going to be 2 kind of parallel storylines that kind of working with each other?
I have a bad feeling it's going to be parallel.
And as a FPS shooter, I mean, FPS shooters as a whole, they kind of ride on their gameplay aspect. That's the fun bit. So if they can bring a good story as well, I think Wolfenstein 2 is going to be a real good release.
Definitely, yeah.
But obviously, I didn't play the first one, so I'm not exactly sure.
I'm
what
excited
to
if
expect,
it's
to be
good.
honest.
That's me for a lot of games.
Yeah,
I'm excited
yeah.
if it's good. If it's
I'm
bad.
excited.
Oh.
That is coming at the end of this year as well, the 10th of the 27th, 2017. A lot of Bethesda games are coming out later this year within the Christmas, you know, the November-December gaming season time.
That was American date. It'll be out on the 27th of the 10th.
You guys know what I'm on about. Come on, we live in a diverse world. So that's Bethesda conference. They didn't really release much. They had some, like, we're going to add on to what we've already got, and then they had a couple big titles that people are really excited for.
Yeah.
And Bethesda, I think they do that every year, to be honest. They never really done anything massive, have they?
Yeah, until they announce a new Elder Scrolls, they're just kind of boring in my eyes.
Fair enough.
Give me Elder Scrolls. I want Elder Scrolls.
So, in conclusion, out of the Microsoft and the Bethesda conferences, what couple things highlighted to you? Like, what things after coming out of those 2 conferences are you like, I'm really excited for this?
Pirates.
Pirates.
I like pirates.
Yeah, so Sea of Thieves
Yeah,
in particular.
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves is looking... I've got my... I'm a bit sceptical, but it does look awesome.
That is one thing that I want. Just that. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so hyped for that.
Anything else?
Xbox Originals,
Yeah.
sort of. I'm kind of hype. I'll use my brother's Xbox because I'm not going to buy it officially for that. So,
See,
I don't know.
I'm hyped for a lot of the games, like Wolfenstein 2, you know, the, what do you call it? The, my mind's gone blank.
Yes, that
Max,
game.
Chloe, Rachel, the name.
Life is
Strange. How could I forget? Interesting, Life is Strange, you know. Sea of Thieves obviously looks awesome.
Yeah.
All those kind of titles as well. But, final question, or one of the final questions is, after coming out of the Microsoft conference, and like we said, Microsoft are really going to have to impress us with the releases they're bringing out to make us want to buy the Xbox One X.
Yep.
After seeing the Microsoft conference, are you now tempted to go buy the Xbox One S?
Tempted because I know what releases are going to come that weren't in the conference.
Yeah.
Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy it.
Well,
I
see-
feel like if I wanted something that powerful, I will buy a PC because
Yeah.
I'm a heavy PC gamer.
Are you at all interested in buying an Xbox One at all, though? Maybe not the X, but a variant of the Xbox One to play all these new games coming out.
There's some interesting titles that I'd like to test out that were mentioned.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know.
See, I went into the Microsoft conference not expecting a lot.
No, I
was
wasn't
like, they're
expecting
going to
a
have to do a lot to make me want to buy this new console.
It did impress me.
It did impress me a lot.
For a moment, I was like, yeah, I could probably buy this, but
Yeah.
in
And-
reality, will I?
Yeah, some of the games on there, like the Dragon Ball, the new Dragon Ball game,
Yeah.
I'm not particularly interested in.
I do
It's not
enjoy
my
Dragon
kind
Ball
of thing.
games, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like that Dragon Ball fighting style game, like,
Yeah.
I enjoy it, but I don't know if I'd buy it specifically for that, because like, we've got a friend Liam, I'll just play it with him.
Yeah.
Like, he's
Throughout-
bound to get it.
Yeah, throughout the whole conference, though, there were moments where I was like, damn, I need to get myself an Xbox One X. Or maybe not an Xbox One X because I'm poor and I don't have that much money.
Yeah.
But even if like they didn't sell the Xbox One S in that conference, for a lot of people who are currently, don't own an Xbox, I think a lot of people, including me, are now going to be looking at buying even just the first Xbox One
Yeah.
or the Xbox One S if they
Yeah.
can't afford the Xbox One X, because there is so many games there, 22 new exclusives. And some of those exclusives I really want to play. I really do. And in the last couple of years, most of my console gaming started out on the Xbox. Since the PS4, I've gone over to PS4 and I've been very, very Sony sided.
I've been always very Sony orientated.
And I still am very Sony orientated. But after that conference, that has messed me up. It really has. And now I'm thinking I really need to get an Xbox.
Yeah, it's definitely given me confliction.
Yeah,
but that's all I can really say. It's confliction.
I think that's what they wanted. That's really because Microsoft have been below on the sales. Sony have been up there in the marketplace for a long, long time. And I think
because
with this,
of their exclusives, but now Xbox
with this year's E3, Microsoft are like, boom, take that. We're back in the action, and
so I'm happy about that. I'm happy that their company's gone. Yeah, okay, we'll actually make something of ourselves again.
So next time we're going to be talking about the PC Gaming Show and Ubisoft. Now, obviously, because we're doing this a little bit later now, PC Gaming Show and Ubisoft have already done their conferences, so we already know, or I already know at least. I don't know if you've seen the conferences yet.
I know a bit.
Yeah, I've already seen everything that's coming out. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So we'll just give a little sneak preview now. What are you excited for next show? What are you most excited to touch on?
What am I most excited to touch? Assassin's Creed.
Right now. Okay, cool.
Assassin's Creed.
Nice.
I want to touch Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, we're going to be talking Assassin's Creed massively because I can't believe that game's back.
I want to touch all of the Assassin's Creed.
Really
places.
I can't wait to see that.
Origins.
Back. Yeah, for sure.
Origins.
And Assassin's Creed's gonna be a massive topic next time. But as well as that, I want to see a lot on the other Ubisoft releases, such as Ubisoft now have a partnership with Nintendo.
Yep.
I also want to talk about a lot on the new pirate game that I've got coming out because that looks fucking badass, and I've been waiting for that since Black Flag came out. I've been wanting to see a fully fledged game like that. So lots to talk about next time.
Yeah, one thing that I also do want to see from them just quickly is, will they announce Rainbow Six Siege new operators? Will they give a preview of them?
I already know, but
I don't. I didn't watch the conference. I'm so conflicted.
Find that out. So thank you very much for watching this show. Microsoft and Bethesda both had some really good announcements, and they're going to be really, really prominent in the gaming industry this year. So next time we'll be talking the PC Gaming Show conference and the Ubisoft conference. E3 is still in full swing. It's ending in a couple of days. I'm going to cry the day it ends, but it is still in full swing. So if you have any opinions or ideas to what we talked about in the show today, put them in the comments down below. We'd love your input within these shows. That's what it's all about. E3 is a great idea, a great chance for the gaming community to come together.
Community.
Yeah, and
that's what it is.
That's one of the biggest aspects I love about E3. It's when the gaming community all come together to share common interest, and we've got to continue that throughout the YouTube comments and things like that as well. So thank you very much for watching. Until next time when we talk Ubisoft and the PC Gaming Show, I shall say goodbye.
See ya.